for now, I'll stay right here where I belong.
You have an amazing opportunity, young generation, to rise above and be proud of the choices you're making and get out of a codependent culture and be responsible for you and work harder in your life than anyone else ever will.
What do you want? What do you want out of your life? Where do you want to go? If no one else will fight, I'll be the one. I'll be the one to step into their world. I'll be the one to walk with them.
And I mean it more than you'll ever know.
Some people will ghost you. Well, then maybe they're not real friends. At some point in time in your life, you are gonna have to come face to face with yourself.
Next time I'm getting it right. Will you believe me if I say this is the last time?
Then she points at me and she goes, there's greatness inside of you. Sometimes we need people to believe things for us until we can believe it for ourselves. Because I look at what I'm doing now and it's not lining up with what they said I couldn't do. And now I'm doing everything that people said I couldn't do. Because now I travel the world and I share my story.
Next time I'll get it right. But for now I'll stay right here where I belong.
And by the time I was 26, I was sitting in 30-day inpatient treatment for alcohol. My family wanted nothing to do with me, couldn't hold a job. I was codependent, all because I thought I could get away with it. I should probably have about 10 DUIs, I only have 2. My last one was June 24, 2010. That was the DUI that changed my life.
For it to hurt more, to stay the same. When I get through this storm, I'll find it on my own. And I'll mean it more than you'll ever know.
And so I'm going to talk about connection and belonging. We're looking for a place to belong where someone can come out and say, hey, we want you here. I want you here. We want you around. We say we live in such a connected world. If that's the case, if we really say we're more connected, then why is everybody more depressed?
There's no dumb kid, there's no worthless kid. There's only kids that have been starved of love and have been wounded so badly, we're just looking for a place to lay. We can't change the history, but we can help shape their future.
Next time I'm getting it right.
Take one thing that you want to focus on to overcome in your life. Take one thing at a time and walk through the process. The process is only a process if one stays in it. If you don't stay in the process, then it's no longer a process.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Pure Purpose Podcast. Hope you enjoyed your week. Hope you also enjoyed last week's episode. Always a delight to be here with you. Always such a pleasure to be on this journey with you. We are starting to do a few different things, if you've noticed. So one of the things that we're going to start doing is I'm going to start dropping the audio podcast of each episode every Monday night at 7 p.m. And then on Friday, you'll get the video episode. So with that being said, definitely you'll be able to listen to the audio all week, but then the video, if you want to actually see a visual, you'll have it. So we're going to jump right into this. Excited to get going. This is a big topic that I've wanted to cover for a long time, and it's realizing your allies. I see in our world today, there is a lot of self-protection going on. You've heard me talk about self-protection. It's basically building walls around your heart that doesn't let things in. It keeps the bad out, but it also keeps the good out. And so I want to talk about, because I really feel in the state of where our world is today, there's a lot of things out there being taught that divides us. It doesn't bring us together. And this is one of the things that I'm coming counterculture. I'm coming against a culture that says it needs to be this way. No, we're creating more division. Right now, I've been on a podcast recently with a buddy of mine. He has a podcast, Josh Kalinowski. Shout out Josh, he's awesome. But we talked about how every leader right now, for the most part in our world, is not uniting us. They're dividing us, okay? And actually, I got my buddy, Josh Walker, in the building. And, me and him, we talk about this all the time. But, at the end of the day, it's about that connection with people. And so this is what I want you to take home today. I want you to realize your allies. Who is with you? Okay, we have to start getting to a place where we're understanding that not everybody is out to get you. Okay, I remember living my life like this for many years, and I kept a distance between me and people for many years simply because I wouldn't let them close to me. But I want you to understand today, like, who are your allies? Who are the people in your life that you need to let in? This is one lesson that I've had to learn over the last 5 or 6 years, that at the end of the day, the biggest thing that you want to do is you want to understand whose team you're on and who's on your team, and how we're going to fight from the same corner, not fight against each other. Okay? We have so many opportunities today to fight against each other, but it's time to actually unite and say, who is in your corner? So I'm going to give you a few key points today when it comes to this. Okay? Young kids, this is important for you to get today. Okay, I see this a lot of places, and honestly with adults too. And some adults are actually making this hard for the young generation because they operate this way too. But the biggest thing you have to realize is who is on your team, okay? Who is in your circle of influence? So the first thing that I want to give you today is recognize your circle of influence. Who is in that? If you remember me talking about this on here before, picture like 3 to 4 circles. You start with the smaller circle, and actually, Tyler, I want you to put it up right here, okay? I want you to put it up right here. But you start with the smaller circle, and then you go a bigger circle, and then you go a bigger circle. You see it right here. And in your inner circle, there's probably 3 to 5 people. 3 to 5 people that are really have gotten to step into your world, have gotten to know your heart, that have taken the time to invest in who you are as a person. So those are the people I've explained that they're going to have the most influence in your life. They're going to have a situation in your life where they can speak into your life. They can tell you when you're doing well and encourage you in that, and they can tell you when you need to straighten up, okay? And you're going to listen to those people. But why? They have taken the time to invest inside of you. They have taken the time to know your heart, okay? And then you go out a little bit, maybe it's going to be 8 to 15 people, right? They know things about you. And again, I've mentioned this on here before. They know things about you, but they don't know everything about you. You're going to tell them a few intimate details of your life, but they're not going to know every intimate detail of your life like the inner circle will. And then outside of that, so on and so forth, you have more people who maybe be acquaintances, and you're not going to share the intimate details of your life, okay? Well, one of the biggest things that we do is, to those people in our circle of influence, is we tend to hurt them and treat them the worst. And we tend to hurt them the most, because those are the people that do know us, but along with that, we know them. So a lot of the times we know information about them that can actually hurt them, just like they know information about us that can hurt us, okay? And the first step to realizing who your allies are is you have to stay out of the wounded places. Let me explain to you what a wounded place is, okay? A wounded place is something in your life that you have had pain in, that something has happened in your life that has created an experience for you that is painful to think about, okay? Chances are you have let people into that. The people that you let into that, their job is to help protect those wounded places. So when they get mad at you, the first thing shouldn't be, I'm going to stomp in your wounded places and I'm going to throw a low blow at you. I'm not going to be in enemy mode with you. And what is enemy mode? It's basically, I'm going to find a way to win this conversation, win this argument by throwing low blows. Okay, we're not going to do that. So you have to stay out of the wounded places, and people have to stay out of your wounded places. So one of the biggest recognition with this is, are these people staying out of your wounded places, and are you staying out of theirs? Okay, that's the first step to realizing your allies. Who are the people that are closest to you that are actually not stomping in those wounded places? I got my buddy in here, and me and him, it's kind of funny how we ended up meeting just year and a half ago. And actually, he said something to me that at first I was like, there's no way. I remember one of the first things he said to me was, are you going to move here? And this was when I was out here in Colorado in 21 running a pilot. And I was like, no. Well, a few months later, I ended up moving out here to run this program in Colorado. And we just got to know each other really well. But the biggest thing that we have learned to do really well is encourage each other. We have learned, he knows things about me that I've shared, and I've know some things about him. We would never go to those wounded places because we value the relationship and the connection over anything else. So our job to each other is to say, hey man, I'm struggling with this thing. Let's talk about it. And it's to encourage each other in those areas. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have people in your life that do negative things to you and go after the wounded places in your life, I'm here to tell you they are not your allies. They are not your friends, okay? Part of the problem with a lot of this is when you know those people in your life aren't great for you, you kind of still keep them in there, okay? We have to recognize the unhealthiness of the people that are in our lives for our better. We have to recognize the healthiness of it or the unhealthiness. If there's people in your life that say they care about you and they're always making you feel like you're less, newsflash for you, they don't care about you. Okay? So we have to understand, we have to start recognizing, okay? Here's the other thing to realizing who your allies are, okay? You have to be able to make your own decisions. You have to be able, let me tell you something. I've said this on here before, but I'm going to say it again, okay? There's a difference between gossiping and processing, okay? What is processing? Processing helps you get to a healthy win-win solution when it comes to a problem with a peer or a friend, whatever you want to call them, okay? That's a good thing. But gossiping, on the other hand, it will make you change your mind about someone, okay? What is the reason why I'm saying this? Because I see a lot of people today, especially the young ones, their minds are easily changed when it comes to making decisions about other people, not even on what you've experienced with them, but what someone else has. Like a friend of yours experienced with this person. You have to be able to make your own decisions to say, you know what? You're gossiping about this person. You're trying to make me change my mind about this person. But guess what? I don't have an offense with them, and I'm not going to pick up your offense. So you need to go talk to them if you have a problem with them, okay? This whole on social media, behind people's back, trying to make people change their minds about people has to stop. You have to learn how to make your own decisions. I'm going to say something so bold, more bold than I've ever said on this podcast before. If you can't make your own decisions when it comes to the things that you need for your life, when it comes to the friends that you are choosing in your life, if you can't make your own decisions, that means that you don't have a backbone. I'm just going to say it. You don't have a backbone. And that is very scary, and I am very afraid for you because of the simple fact of the matter is you are going to be thrown around like the wind your whole life. I know adults that can't make their own decisions. They're so influenced by everybody else. And I know these adults because their lives are a mess. I'm just here to tell you that, okay? But there's good news on the other side. Okay, because I'm always going to leave you with good news. You can become strong in who you are as a person. That's what this comes down to, y'all. Who you are as a person is going to determine how you live your life, what kind of friends you keep around you, what kind of jobs you get, okay? How good you are in maintaining your relationships. These are all foundational principles that I've talked about in the last couple episodes. A couple weeks ago, I talked about foundational principles. These are all foundational principles. I wasn't always good at this. There was, for many years, I didn't have a backbone. I didn't have solid foundation. And it showed in my life. The fruit was there, that foundation was cracked and faulty and it was falling apart. But when I started navigating through the journey, because it's a journey, y'all, okay? This whole obtaining perfection thing, even when it comes to our relationships that we have in our life, it doesn't exist. There's, like I said this before, it doesn't exist, okay? And so we have to understand that this is all a journey. Who's your friends now even may not be your friends in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, okay? But you're able to get your foundation solid and make your own decisions on people, realizing your allies. Josh, would you agree with this, that 90% of your success and failures come from who you keep around you? Easily, right? Like, it's the relationships you have in your life, right? It's the people that you've been through things with, right? It's the people that bump your bucket and you guys work through. I mean, you and your wife, for example. You guys have been together how long? 15? So you guys know each other, right? There's been things that you've had, and that's what makes the beautiful relationship, doesn't it? It's the same thing with me and other people. I mean, it's when you go through things with people and not run at the first sign of trouble, you know that you're creating a connection that not everyone has. Me and you don't have the same relationship you and your wife have, clearly, right? But we're solid, right? And so it's one of those situations where realizing your allies, another point that I want you to take away, realizing your allies means you are going to have to work through hard situations. And when you can navigate those situations on there, okay, through those, that's when the connection becomes strong. And that's when you can stand in the same corner and fight from the same corner and not fight each other. Put your swords down at the people that are in your life that have been placed there to further you in your journey. Put the swords down and stop pointing them at each other. That is not going to help you. And again, one of the things I've said before, but I'm going to go into it a little bit more today, is one of the last things I want to share with you today when it comes to realizing your allies, okay, is stop thinking people are only here to meet your needs. One of my friends, a wife and a husband that I just met with recently, this was amazing. And it changed my whole perspective on everything. And we were sitting there having coffee, like, I don't know, probably 2 weeks before I left to come back to Colorado. And one of the things she told me, I'm not going to share her situation, but she's been married for, I don't know, I want to say like 7 years or something like that. But one of the things she did tell me that actually changed my whole perspective, she said, one thing you need to know, Bobby, is that marriage is not about meeting your needs. It's about the family unit as a whole. I said, whoa. Because we're actually not taught that in today's society. We're actually taught that people are here to meet our needs. We're not actually taught, for the most part. I mean, some people are. I'm not saying everyone's not. But for the most part, people are taught, hey, get your needs met in any way possible. Just go do it. Okay? But how rarely do we actually say that being in a relationship with people, whether it be a marriage, whether it be a friendship, whether it be brother, sister, mom, dad, right? Husband, wife, whatever you want to say, it's about the family unit. It's not I'm not in relationship with my boy here, Josh Walker. I'm not in relationship to him to get my needs met. It's about family. He's not my immediate family. We could be, but we're not. It's about family as a whole, and we have to stop using my needs being met as a means to an end. I said in the last episode, I am tired of people coping, learning how to cope. This is another way people learn how to cope, getting your needs met because you don't feel good enough by yourself. Stop thinking people are here to meet your needs. That is not realizing your allies. That is actually setting you up for failure when you realize that one day you have used everybody up and there will be no one else left to use. And your heart will be so tattered and shattered, you will not know how to be in relationship with people. Okay? It's not about getting your needs met. It's about relationships, the family unit as a whole. I've always felt that, but I've never been able to put it into context like that. And they put it into context for me, and I'm like, wow, that changes everything. Because why? Because it makes it bigger than me. It's not about the simple fact that my needs aren't being met. Because in turn, if I think about the bigger scenario, my needs will be met in that. But I won't have to go in with just that motive at the forefront. I can go in being an active member of that situation, of that community, right? And understand that my needs will be met, but I'm there to offer myself as a benefit to whoever may need it. And if we can do that, when it comes to the relationships that we have in our lives, we will make this world a better place. I believe in you. I'm not going to stop speaking truth, guys. I will not do it. There's too much at stake for me to stop speaking truth. And I heard someone else say this, so I'm going to say I'm willing to be unliked up front in order to help. And that's just what this is going to be. But I believe in you. And you all have what it takes to build a successful life that you want. And I'm not talking about the success as defined as how everyone thinks it should be for you, but success in your own way. That's the beauty about being your own person. You define your success in ways that only you can. And when you start living your life, realizing your allies and that people are actually more for you, and even if you haven't found them yet, they're coming. Just hold on a little bit longer. Those people are coming into your life. The people that actually care about you, that will lift you up. I mean, I didn't have that for many years. In the last 5 years, I got that. I'm like, man, this is amazing. There's actually people out there that are for me, that are there for the betterment of me. Some of these people believe in me more than I believe in me at times. That's the tribe that I want. Keep going. I promise you, we're going to get there together. There's so much gold inside of you. It's going to help display the greatness to the world outside of you. Continue to live whole in a full life. And I promise you, you will be satisfied with the journey that you go on. Keep climbing. I love y'all. See you next time.
Next